Hello, my name's Jonathan. Cece's taking this picture. I understand she's doing a series of videos about people living in Swissvale, and here's my story. We're in my backyard, which is my beloved backyard. We moved to Swissvale 8 years ago, and when we got here, this backyard, the only thing in this backyard that is the same as 8 years ago is the alley out back, the garage next door, and the grass on the ground. Everything else is different. There used to be two huge trees that were almost as tall as this big tree that we had taken down. And you can sort of see we took stumps from that tree in order to build up a little terrace in the back. This area here on the side was almost up to the second floor from the house all the way back to the alley with brambles. It was crazy back here. It was nuts. So I started with a lot of help from somebody who knew how to build things like this arbor and that shed. And this deck, which he also built, we just started transforming the backyard. And I found out I sort of rediscovered my love of dirt, of which I had much when I was younger. But I climbed the ladder of money and success and trying to make myself look like somebody so that they would think I was important and successful. And late in my life, I found out when we bought this house and I transformed this backyard that this is what I love to do. And I wish I had been doing this for 35 years. So then that led to me saying, oh, I think I'm going to try and do this to make some money and make a living. And that's what I do now. I'm a professional gardener. I got my certification at Phipps to be an organic gardener, and I don't use any pesticides or chemicals. I mean, I do use things that will take care of the bugs and the diseases and fungus and all that, but it's all organic. So here's my backyard, and we're going to walk around a little bit, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I do. So an awful lot of this is about, being I mean, it's a mess back here. And the reason it's a mess is because I do other people's gardens, and the last garden I get around to every year is my garden. So, back here is sort of the nursery for sick plants that I've dug up from somebody else's garden, and I just want them to heal and get happy again. This wisteria thing is crazy. You should have seen it a few weeks ago when the first blooms came through. The whole thing was full of purple flowers. This is a milkweed thing that just grew by itself, and it's a monster. So we're gonna walk, we're gonna walk out here. This is bamboo that we planted 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe we'll do it this way. So here's our composting, and there's our rain barrel. So here is where primarily we grow food, and we've got cucumbers and basil because we love basil, and we love pesto, and we make a lot of it, and we put it up for the winter so that we can eat it all winter. Tomatoes, onions. Here's another one of those milkweed that just got out of control. Here you can just see all kinds of plants, most of which are plants that I just haven't gotten around to putting in somebody else's garden yet. And unfortunately, these just got way too big. I mean, when I bought these, they were about this big, and I just haven't found somebody's garden yet to put them in, but there they are, lots of bees on those. Okay, I'm filming the front of the house now, all these rocks are things that I use to make art in the gardens that I design. And then this, I'm gonna do a close-up of that. That's just a weird stump that the tree cutting people had cut down off a tree. You can see the wires that the tree grew around and into it. That's just a bunch of grasses that I cut off somebody's property. So here's an example, although the light isn't all that great, of the kind of place that I might do art. If you keep sort of going in here, you can see a face there. How about that? Okay, so now we're in the front yard, and here also is where I keep a bunch of plants to, put in other people's yards. But there's one thing I wanted to tell you about, since this is the story of what I do and why I love doing it. I found out that this gardening thing, there's so many things that come together with it. First of all, I love being outside. I love working outside. It's so much better for me than working inside, especially at a computer. Second thing is, I love putting my hands in the dirt. I love planting things and watching them grow. I like art. I'm really big into art, and like planting a garden and designing a garden is like living art. It's like you have to think about how big that plant is going to get, what color is the flower going to be, when is the flower going to bloom, versus when's the flower going to bloom for the plant that's right next to it, and then you make designs, and it's just really, really fun. I also really enjoy talking to other people, and I also enjoy making money, and this is a job that not many people think about. Hey, I want to be a gardener and actually make a living doing this, but you can do that. It's really, really fun. The name of my practice, which is what I call my gardening business, is the Village Gardener. So I have certain clients that I really like, and I take care of them throughout the season, and it's just really great. And then the organic thing is really important to me, because I think that we live in a world that's really messed up because we don't think about making it fit with nature. So that's really, really important to me. And there are lots of other things about gardening, but that's enough. So I wore this shirt specially today because I don't really know what this shirt means, but it feels right to say, what does it say?
That's what I do. I garden and I know things.
That's what I do. And I do. There's so much. There's nobody that knows everything about gardening. Nobody knows everything. But to understand the way things grow and what happens at certain times and why a plant is sick or why the plant doesn't like being in that place, or it's just every single day is different. And it's just really, really fun. And gardeners are really nice people. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And
If you could wave.
Huh?
All right. Thank you, Jonathan.